going to check on Smoky Joe, and I thought I'd take you along. It's been an awesome Saturday. Twice a year, our prophet and apostles from our church speak to us in a special conference. And today and tomorrow happen to be that conference, but the third session today just ended, and I'm going to check on Smoky Joe. And I'll tell you where he's at and why we're checking on him here as we get a little closer. But tell me where you're joining me from tonight. The sun's just setting or about to set. It's hard to tell with some clouds. But let me know where you're joining me from. We got Oklahoma and Texas on so far. Hello, Cade and Randy. I don't think I've ever gone live while I drive. Probably not a good idea, but good thing we live in such a small town. All right, we got Oregon and Northern California. How close are you to San Jose, where Blake is? Okay, we got Lynchburg City. I'm not sure where that is. That's cool. Just finishing evening session at home here in Texas. Rain here today. Vernon, send some of that rain this way. It's been a great conference today. Olga in Florida. We got Smoky Joe. Hi, Smoky Joe from I Hate Chocolate. That's funny. That's their YouTube name. I had someone the other day, and I asked for some feedback as to what I could do different, but they're like, you need to not read comments. You need to just talk and show the horses. And I was like, sorry, that's not really how a live goes. Anyway, Krista, glad you caught us. She said she finally caught a live. Meg's little house in the country. I got on your live earlier, but it only, I don't know, it was like it's glitching. It kept repeating itself. But Michelle C says she's at 1.5 hours from, so just an hour and a half from San Jose. That's pretty cool. She's right there close to Blake. So the sun's just setting about, like I say, I can't even tell because you can't tell if it just set or if it's just coming from behind the cloud. I'll show you here in a minute. But I wanted to come check on Smoky Joe. I moved him today, and I'll tell you where he is and why I moved him here in just a second. There he is. But there, you can see him in the corner of my screen there. You can see him out there. So I have a good friend that lets me use this pasture. I call it my native pasture. And Mark Smith, you're amazing. Mark Smith sends us super chats all the time just to be nice and kind. Thank you, Mark. That's super kind. But I'll turn this around and I'll show you. It's a little windy today, but not bad. But I have a pasture. I call it my native pasture. And it's not our land. It's my friend's land. But he's been so good to let us use it. He and his wife have been so good to let us use it. And it's a real blessing to me because I really believe horses do better if they get out of corrals and get to be exposed to different situations and places. And this native pasture, I call it native because there's not any irrigated land here. I have to haul them hay. There is weeds and sagebrush and stuff that grow in here that they can nibble on, but it just puts them out in a place that they have to learn to walk around trees. Let me turn it around so I can, as I'm explaining it to you. So there you go. I'm on the old Route 66, and this is I-40, and there's a train track right back there. Don't worry, there is a fence between the train track and the horses. I had someone watch one of our videos, and they're like, I can't believe you have them right next to the train track without a fence. I wouldn't put them right next to the train if there was not a fence. But there you go. I brought Smoky Joe down here to be with Ombre. And I hope I'll be all right. I don't have a lot of charge on my phone. So I just wanted to come see how he's doing. But down here they learn the sounds of the freeway, the sounds of the train track. I spent some time with Smoky Joe earlier, just brushing on him. And Ty, I still haven't used your brush in a video, but the reason why is it's been so windy. Right now it's finally calming down a little bit, but I've got to find a quiet time when I can do a video with your brush. But isn't Smoky Joe looking good, guys? I'm gonna open the gate here so I can come in and check on him even closer. Ombre's looking amazing, I think. And this will just give Smoky Joe a chance to hear the semi-trucks drive by, to hang out with with Ombre. They hung out for a couple months actually at the house, so it's not like they're new to each other. But they're both little stallions, and so I thought this could be my little bachelor pen. And so tell me what you think about Ombre and Smoky Joe. But out here they'll learn to step around holes, and this is about a 15-acre pasture with gopher holes and little trees, and there's cactus and there's things like that. Mark, I will sure say hi to Vicky for you. But I just think this will be a great place for Smoky Joe to just learn to be a horse for a while. And he's starting to really roan out. You can see the white that's coming in under his black coat. He'll be a beautiful blue roan. How are you, boy? Are you gonna let me pet you out in this big pasture? Thank you. That's awesome, bud. I really like this horse, guys. He is just so nice. But there you have it. He's doing good. He and Ombre are out here in the bachelor pad. Ombre's a 2-year-old, and Smoky Joe is just 9 months old, and you can see Smoky Joe is almost as tall. Smoky Joe is a registered quarter horse, and Ombre was literally starved almost to death. And isn't it a beautiful night? But one of you just said that you remember when Ombre was first brought home, he literally was about dead. I got him for $25 at an auction. He was colicking. I was the only one that bid. I could have probably got him for $5 or $10. The starting bid was 25, and I got him and brought him home, and look at him today. Now, they're both little stallions. They're nipping on each other, but it's not being mean. Young stallions like this, they play a lot. It's their way of, oh cool, the sun came out. So the sun hadn't quite set. It was right behind that cloud. But young stallions will nip at each other and just kind of play fight a lot. It's like 14-year-old boys. But don't they look beautiful, guys? You're right, Krista. This is new terrain for Smoky Joe, but I like that. He's just gonna learn to step around cactus. He's gonna learn that these loud semi trucks going by don't need to be feared. And I started to tell you, sorry, I get sidetracked. So these are both little stallions, but we started castrating him and only found one testicle. So he only has one testicle right now because one's been removed and the other one's in his abdomen. So we're gonna be doing some research and saving some money and getting ready to eventually get him taken care of. Smoky Joe, on the other hand, I will not gild him till he's at least 2. I kind of want to see what he turns out like. I wish they weren't running right away from me, although it's a pretty view tonight, isn't it? Ty, luckily the business next door has a water spigot and they let me fill my water there. He asked how I did get my water. So, and Ty's asking all kinds of great questions. He's asking if babies are being born, 66 babies are being born yet in Bayfield, Colorado. And the answer is no, because it's so cold and snowy there. 66 was not put with the girls till like last June 1st, I believe. So there will not be babies until about, or maybe it's June 1st that the babies will start showing up. I forget. Isn't this a pretty night? But this kind of shows you. Hi, Jackie in Australia. So Matthew's looking for a pure black. Yeah, I don't have a black horse, but who knows? Sometimes I find rescues that are really cool, just like Ombre, but he's not a pure black. So this is just kind of my native pasture. I'm just kind of walking you through it so you can see it's nothing special, but they definitely learn to step over and around, and I'm kind of hoping a train will come by so you guys can see what that's like. I love that my horses learn to navigate just sounds and movement and stuff like that. Ty just said, am I near the semi-trailer? Yes, I am, but that's not real close. That's also on the south side of the freeway, but that's the land I actually own and I irrigate. This is non-irrigated land. It's just, that's why I call it my native pasture, because whatever grows, that's all you get. And in Arizona, there's just not. Hombre's acting surprised, like, oh, I didn't know you're still there. Man, don't they look beautiful tonight, guys? Hope you're enjoying this. I could walk back to the truck, but I'm kind of enjoying just walking and seeing how they're doing. So, what's your feelings? Those of you that have raised horses, do you think it's good to get them out somewhere besides the corral? Those two young stallions took off running. Okay, Dawn, those are all good questions. She's asking why Hombre was out here by himself and not have him closer to the house where I could fatten him up with grain and all that. Well, the answer to that is I did leave him close to the house and got him fattened up a lot. Man, that's a beautiful sight. The horses are going further away than I want to keep walking. But on the other hand, this is a beautiful walk, so I may just keep going. So let me show you. Like right here, you probably can't see, but there's a hole here. Well, some people may say, well, our horse could get hurt. Well, that's true, they could. But that's why I like them to have these experiences, because they learn to watch their feet. They learn to not be dumb, or they learn to just navigate where their feet are. Their mind and their feet work together. Sometimes I've been around horses that have been in a corral their whole life, and they just don't have any common sense. They don't know how to navigate through weeds and holes and trees and all that stuff. But anyway, going back to that comment. So I did leave, I don't remember who said it. Sorry, I can't see your name right now. But I think it was Dawn. But we did leave Hombre home until he got healthy. But then he started acting like a little stallion. And I have a lot of mares at the house, and so I didn't want him to be with mares, and I wanted him to have this experience just being out here. And so it was like I say, I call it my bachelor pad. Let me turn this around. Isn't this pretty? But don't worry, I bring him hay every day, and we'll take really good care of them. See, there's a gopher hole right there. Again, I like that they're gonna have to figure this stuff out. So this is the fence where we don't go any further west. But see, that's another thing, is Smoky Joe and Hombre will go figure out. Hombre's been in here for several weeks, but they'll learn where the fence lines are, and they just learn to be smart as far as their surroundings. Sorry, I want to see your comments, but I also feel bad that you're going to just see my face for a minute. Ty just said, do you ever go to Winslow and stand on the corner? Yes, I have. Gorgeous land, never been to Arizona. I'm in Ontario, Canada. Awesome, Don. Yes, this is beautiful land. It's barren. It's got a different type of beauty. It's not what some people would consider beautiful, but to me, I think it's gorgeous, and our sunsets are amazing. Jody says, do you see many snakes in the native pasture? We have lots here, mainly king snakes, bull snakes, gopher snakes, red whipcoach, western diamondbacks, sidewinders, and Mojave. Wow, you have a lot more than we do. On occasion, we'll see a bull snake or a gopher snake. They call them both things. And we do have some rattlesnakes, but not a lot. You know, in the 23 years we've lived here, we've only killed a couple rattlesnakes. And sorry if that offends you that we kill them, but with kids and animals around, it's not worth being nice to the snakes. Well, to those snakes. We let the gopher snakes, the bull snakes, thrive because they eat the mice and rats and things like that. Man, it's a beautiful night, guys. Let me see what other comment just came in. How far is the Painted Desert? God, the Painted Desert's probably 35, 45 miles from us. Maybe an hour. Okay, S. Crawford said, my personal experience has been that these babies, ages 1 through 4, have to be supervised closely because if there's a way to injure themselves, they'll do it. That's how it is with young colts. I agree with you, but I'm gonna agree to disagree also. If young horses can get hurt, they will. But I honestly have had horses that are caged up in a small pen get hurt as often or more often than one out on a place like this. Last summer, you might remember that I brought some horses here for my brother. My brother Levi sent 3 colts, two fillies and a big bay stud colt. And he gave me feed money and stuff, but I kept him up here for the summer because he wanted them to have some experience outside of a corral. And also where he lives, it's 120 degrees in the summer, and so it's a little cooler in northern Arizona. And that big bay stud colt, they said he just was constantly getting hurt. He would roll and get his legs under a panel, or he would cut himself, or he would on a feeder. I mean, just he was constantly getting hurt. Well, we brought him here and I put him out in this native pasture, and the first day, I'll show, let me turn you around. So first day he'd be walking and he would like walk right into a tree, and then there'd be this little ditch right here, and he would kind of stumble because he would not know how to navigate that. And then he would, well, a few days into it, he was watching where he went, and he was being more cautious and smart and just gained some common sense. And by the time Levi took him home, he wasn't getting in accidents. He was just smarter. I guess he had some street smarts. So I'm with you, if you can get a young horse grown up without injuries, it's a miracle. So I totally agree with you on that. But I also don't think, sometimes I think people baby them too much. It's like kids. You got to give them the freedom to grow up and to experience things. And horses are the same. Look at that beautiful sunset, guys. It'd be cool if the horses came back over here. I've got to tie this up. Sorry, I'm gonna put you, sorry, you get to watch barbed wire for a minute. Sorry, not a great view, but hopefully you can hear me. All right, so I'm making sure the gate's nice and secure. Do I have a favorite John Wayne movie? I like all John Wayne movies, actually. The movie Cowboy, John Wayne the Cowboy, might be my favorite. Let me show you that. Look at that sunset, guys. If you've never been on the Route 66 in Arizona, this is the old Route 66. I'm standing on it, and isn't that beautiful? That's headed towards Flagstaff right there. And now the train's going by, and Smoky Joe's not going crazy. That's awesome. See Smoky Joe and Hombre out there. I just love seeing them gain experience, and be cool if they'd come back over here. We could get a cool picture. But it's okay that they're out exploring too. That's why I want them out here. Tracy, thank you. We get some of the most beautiful sunsets ever. Look at that. And honestly, what you're seeing doesn't even compare to what I get to see. I don't know if you can see those mountains right there. That's the San Francisco peaks in Flagstaff, Arizona. So the highest peak in Arizona is over by Flagstaff. But there you go. I see the horses out there. Smoky Joe and Hombre are doing good. Now, I've trained Hombre. He comes when I honk the horn, but I don't know if he will right now. Yeah, Jody, there's 2 train tracks. So when she says that's weird that the train goes opposite directions at the same time, there's 2 tracks. So yeah, that does look weird, especially if you weren't aware that that's how it is. Okay, Ty, the donkeys are, let's see if they'll, I've already fed them, so they're not hungry, but Hombre may still come just because I'm honking at him. Looks like they are. But look at that, guys. Beautiful sunset. Thanks for being with me today. Oh, there you go. Here comes Hombre. Isn't Hombre beautiful? That roan color, he's just turned almost totally white except for the very distinct legs and head. Yes, Arizona sunsets are amazing. Thank you, Lori. And we got some from Indiana. Ty says, where are the donkeys? There in another pasture. Jason Wells, hello, Alan. You're in God's country for sure. You know what? We do have some pretty awesome land here. Very blessed. So there's Smoky Joe, guys, learning to navigate, going around trees and dodging gopher holes and just learning to be a young horse. So thanks for coming with me to check on him. I think I'll get out of the truck for just a second and let's see here. How many horses do I have? I've got about 20 right now, including the donkeys. But I'm looking for homes for several of them, so hopefully we can find some of those. So this person says it's morning where they're at. Ty, what are you asking about the roping dummy on wheels? We did get one, which I'm excited about. But there you go, guys. That's the beautiful sunset behind me. I can't, it's not doing justice. It looks so much better when it's not through the camera. Can people buy one? Yes, they are called OMR, Omer One More Run Roping Dummies. So go, you can check them out. Ty was asking about the roping dummy we got. So there we have it, guys. These beautiful horses. I hope you enjoyed coming, checking on them with me. Smoky Joe is doing good. I love seeing how he's starting to shed off. You can see the white that's underneath his black coat. And so he's gonna be a beautiful blue roan. Thank you, Jody. It does help if you'll hit that like button. Can you just put one in the truck to home without paying? I'm confused there, but thank you, Jason. Yeah, give us a thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Jason, hope you're enjoying the conference. It's been a great conference today. But look at that beautiful sunset on the... This is the old Route 66 in Arizona. No, Ombre will not be very tall. But you got to remember, he was also starved. So I'm sure he's going to be stunted. But gorgeous horse. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Mickey, you're the best. Mickey always, every day, whatever video, she asked people to like and subscribe to our family to keep us going, which is really kind. Appreciate all of you. I'm just stepping up the hill here and didn't want to trip, but there we have it, guys. One last look. The horses are doing good. The sunset's beautiful, and I hope you all have a great night. God bless, and hope you have a wonderful Sabbath tomorrow.